The thing is, you always want to do something special. You want to play the best set of your life. This plugin can, help you making it sound fresh and original.
Yo, what's up? Welcome to this episode. We're going to show you how we prepared for our Tomorrowland 2022 Mainstage set. Check it out.
Today we're going to have a look at how to prepare for Tomorrowland. The thing is, you always want to do something special. You want to play the best set of your life and you want to blow away the crowd with some cool edits, some new music, and that's exactly what we're going to have a look at today.
As Lucas already mentioned, we wanted to create something special. Now, there is a very famous Netflix series. We both are fans. It's called Stranger Things. So we thought it would be cool to just do something with that insane intro melody. Who was, I think the original creator was Kyle Dixon. And we thought it was a very good idea to just make something brand new out of that melody, including Calling by Alesso Ingrosso and Alesso. So we use that vocal and then we drop into a brand new track of us.
This was us playing this tune at Tomorrowland.
Get your hands up! 1, 2, get your hands up!
So we're gonna have a look at that edit and how we prepared it and make it playable for Tomorrowland Mainstage.
Yes. Also, I might have missed it, but this whole mashup also contains a part of Kate Bush's running up that hill. If you've seen the last season of Stranger Things, you'll hear that track has a very, very important role. And it's something that it kind of gave that record a second life, or maybe already a third or a fifth, but everybody is listening to that tune. I think it was also in the global top 100 on Spotify again after all those years. So we decided to just sample it a little bit. We didn't use the vocal because it was already used a lot in a lot of mashups and edits, so we wanted to do it differently. We'll show you, we just recreated some sounds to give a little bit of...
For people who don't know, it's about this song. And the original song from that edit is from Kyle Dixon and Michael Stein. This one. So let's kick off with the original melody, which is the plug bass. Maybe we should listen to the whole edit first and then just...
Oh, we could, sure.
Yeah. There we go.
And there we go and build some energy towards the drop.
Now we're gonna have a look at the project. Lucas started this project by recreating all the melodies and recreating all the sounds, including some stuff that you ripped from YouTube, right?
Yeah, always.
Including some stuff that we ripped from YouTube, which are the Stranger Things clocks and the Vecna, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So we just to create the theatrical, cinematic experience that we wanted to bring to the crowd with this one, because if you've seen Stranger Things, it's a whole lot of stuff happening visually, but also with the audio. They have amazing effects. It sounds crazy, very characteristic stuff. So I started by just going to YouTube and see if I could find the clocks and all the cinematic sounds. I found them. They were actually pretty easy to find. Just went to YouTube to MP3 converter, and well, here we are. Yeah, just messed with that a little bit. Besides that, and also it could be cool to explain why we picked Stranger Things and not any other series and what we love about it. And it also has definitely to do with the music, right? That they're playing Stranger Things. Yeah. It's a huge revival of analog synthesizers. We actually we have quite a lot of those, as you can see.
Yeah.
But for this project, we were that busy touring that we were not that much at the studio, so we had to improvise and recreate something analog with, in this case, with Silent One. It's a matter of getting the right sound. A thing that's happening a lot with analog, like the old analog synthesizers, is that they had this issue with keeping the pitch of every note constant. So they were always pitching up and down slowly, a little bit. Yeah. So it would be like, if you would hit a note, it would usually not sound like bah, but it would be a little bit like bah. But it's just very overdriven, but that does give a really nice edge to a lot of songs. So I got an LFO in silent to the pitch and just give it just a slight bit of modulation, but that did give it a vintage sound. Also, a lot of choruses are still, of course, used a lot, but they're very typical for some characteristic sounds of the 80s, certain types of distortion. Just started to recreate it in a plug bass and an arpeggiator, all inspired by those 80s vintage Stranger Things sounds. So that's, I mean, it's a super easy plug bass, but definitely inspired on all those Stranger Things noises. Recreating the melody was just as easy as listening to it and copying, combined with the bass. Also had a very good time. I unfortunately had to resample this one. It's made in Spire and really design it towards that Kate Bush sound. It's definitely not identical, but it does have the same vibe. There's a lot of also pitch enveloping going on to give it that wobbly vibe. And I think those parts together actually are responsible for the vibe and the nice sonics in the first part of this edit. Another synth that's taking over later on that's a little more clear, and what you can hear in this part, and that's what we both thought of as some big surprise, right? Yeah. For the crowd to get it all going.
Yeah, the melody of this particular song. if you listen to it and then just imagine playing this and creating a dance classic into it, which in this case is Calling by Alesso Ingrosso and Alesso, would be something special. And that was something that we came up with as we heard this line. And obviously that's the hint that we wanted to give to build up towards that track from Alesso Ingrosso and Alesso. It's also cool to give that melody or just recreate something with that melody and then just build towards something that is playable for us in an EDM way. After that melody, we blend in the track Calling.
Yeah.
And that's what. In this part we hear the vocal. There you go. We still have the bass. The arp. And the lead. And that including the rhythm that gives you the beat part, and that's only a clock ticking because of the Stranger Things vibe that we still wanted to have. So all combined, it sounds pretty epic. Well, that's it for this part, and then we built up towards a track that we've produced. We wanted to drop with a track of our own, which we never played before, which is kind of exclusive, and it wasn't the same key as this track, so pretty easy switch to make. That's why we created the build up already in this part, and then we can drop easily in that new track.
Yeah. Also, when you're preparing a set, especially for big ones, as Tomorrowland, we just go all the way. We put in all effort. So what we did to perfect our mix, for example, is we're mixing this track from source. We already knew that because we wanted to have that energy. So what we did in the beginning is make sure that as soon as we mix this track, it is still the same key as source, but then it pitches down, I think, or up, no, down, right? Towards the key of the next record. And of course, we don't do that for every set, but if you're making an edit like this, I mean, why not? You have all liberty, so don't hold back.
Absolutely, and it sounds so much better to.
So this is, when it starts, it's the key from source, this bass loop, and when it ends, it's the key of everything that we just played.
There we go.
And there we are.
That's the starting point.
Yep.
Which makes your track way more, or your whole mix way more fluent and sounds just nicer and better. Yeah. Yeah, as we already mentioned, the project before is already kind of the build-up, and we built up towards this track, which we made actually especially for Tomorrowland. New track we still don't have a name for it. So if you know a nice name, drop it in the comments. Help us out. Drop it in the comments. Here we go.
So this is the break that we're actually never really playing because we have it mashed up now. But we're still looking to create a break. That's still a lot of work in progress. But the drop is the exact same drop as we play in our sets now. Maybe it's cool to start and focus on the most characteristic features of the drop.
Yeah.
And I think sound-wise, what we're having here, a big part of the sound is the step that we're using. We actually have a couple, I think. We have this one. Matter of just making very, very short plugs and sounds in Nexus. Just really easy presets in here. You can already in Nexus just load up a sound that's already containing a chord, and we did that with the first and also with the second sound. Really easy, just stack them. This one is more like in layer underneath that we have more for the body of this step in particular. But we also used another one. It's also one of the drop horns from drop brasses from Nexus that's giving that deeper sound. I think with this step we already resampled it. It's actually, yeah. What you hear in here is a chord. For all these, all the steps that you layer, you use the same chord, or you use the bass note that's already in that chord, or just something that sounds nice as long as it's in the same key. But in order to create a step like this, we use a full chord in Contact in one of their string samplers, or in one of their horn samplers, and those sound like real orchestral horns compared to this EDM one. That's no orchestra. Yep, and then just sample it. After that, it goes through processing, gets a lot of reverb on it to make it big. First compress it with the Puke Child, then put reverb on it. What we do after that to still keep it snappy. As you can see, these samples are really short, so we just cut them short already. But with this horn, we just in Ableton you can do this in any DAW. Is just to cut away the sound after it hits, so that way you keep it short and snappy instead of this. Compared to this. Yeah. So, alright, here we go. The bass.
Bass.
Also pretty characteristic.
Yeah.
This already starts with the MIDI. There's a lot of gliding going on. I'll try to make one MIDI out of this. Yep, a lot of gliding down.
We have the lead, which actually is the most important part of the whole track. And there's just a shitload of processing on that, on this synth.
That's quite a lot.
First show how it sounds just without all the stuff that we put on. There you go. So we start with a Fairchild, pump it up, time constant at 1 to create that in your face kind of effect. Stereo imaging, just to make it a little bit more wider. This is pretty cool thing that we do sometimes, not all the time, but it's kind of we do reverb. First we have reverb, then compressor, which hit the sidechain of the lead. So when the synth hits, there is no reverb, and when the synth isn't there, the reverb gets on. So it's just. It's filling up the gaps, which is pretty cool effect and gives that pumping feel.
And in this case, we did it with reverb with delay.
Yeah, and also with delay. Yeah. So this delay, then the sidechain, and after that, getting rid of the low end of the track of the synth to don't let it interfere with each other when it hits the note. Then we have this one. It's an emulation of the SSL. Sounds pretty cool, and we just boost around 400 hertz, just a little bit more warmth. And getting rid of some harsh frequencies so they don't pop out. This one is great. It's called Vitamin. And also here we boost some of the low mids, which are really important. The synth, if you listen to the synth solo without the processing, there is just a lack of warmth. So you can layer that, but you can also just boost some of the low ends or the mids section, which are most of the time. If it's not there, then you can layer it, but it was there and it sounded pretty good if we did this. Then we have this one, which we also have analog, but in this case we were quite busy touring, so this is actually not doing that much, but it's just hitting small things.
Yeah, definitely great plugin to work with if you want to give an edge to your sounds. Also, we use Culture Vulture. Also, we use Culture Vulture quite a lot from Universal Audio when we, when we have, for example, this sound coming from, I don't know, silent Nexus, whatever, but you don't want it to have that specific Nexus or Spire edge because you're already using too many of those plugins. Then this plugin can, help you making it sound fresh and original. That it doesn't sound all the same. It's just adding a really nice texture to your sounds.
Absolutely. Then afterwards we use an enveloper. It's kind of an SPL transient designer, but then just a little bit more detailed. So we boosted the attack on around 4,000 and then get rid of the sustain around 90. Gives just a little bit more attack on the mid section of the track, or the high mid section. Then boosting some low end, mid range, and some high end on a shelf on the Manly, which is actually a very, very nice, very nice equalizer, very colorful and sounds super fresh. So we use that a lot on guitars, for instance, to sometimes also on vocals. It's a really nice one. We don't use this one. Phase meter to check out if something is phasing, but it wasn't. And then an gain right for the break, probably for the build-up. That in combination together with the bass and the sub and the kick, it sounds like this. that's actually these are the most important, including the step, of course, that we talked about also. Are the most important parts of the track, and then we had to fill it up to give it a little bit more energy. So we put in some hats and some claps. Let me check. Some percussion and some effects. That sounds like this. That's it, actually.
Something that helped us a lot during this touring season, and we heard a lot of our colleagues and friends don't know this yet.
Oh,
but yeah, you know what I'm talking about, right? It's the Universal Audio. They launched this Spark series, that's what they call it, and it's identical plugins from Universal Audio that you can use on the road. You just log in and you can use it anywhere. Especially
lifesaver.
Yeah, so you don't have to bring along your Universal Audio interface or the satellites or whatever, but you can just take them on the road. I think they launched this, I think, last year, and they're starting to add more and more plugins for this.
Yeah. It's called Spark, so if you don't know it yet, check it out.
Definitely do.
Very good. All right, thanks for checking out our track breakdown.
As we're uploading this video to YouTube, it's one of the last weeks that you can vote for your favorite DJs for the DJ Mag Top 100 list. So don't forget to vote for your favorites, and we'll see you next time in a new track breakdown. See you then.
Ciao.
Bye bye.